Hey guys, how's it going? In today's video, I want to talk about going full-time with music, and I'm going to share with you 3 essential tips, which are based on my own experience of quitting my day job a few years ago and diving into the deep end of music production and licensing. I've been able to carve out a full-time and sustainable monthly income in the years since I've quit that old job, and yeah, I'm going to talk about it. So last week's poll results on YouTube were interesting. About 40% of the respondents to the question of how much money would you need to make music full-time said that $1,000 to $2,500 a month would be enough to make full-time music income. With the current cost of living where I'm at up here in Canada, I definitely rely on more than that every month to pay the bills and pay the rent. But of course, the cost of living varies considerably depending on where you are in the world. Also interesting to note is that nearly 20% of the respondents said that they would need $500 to $1,000 every month in order to make it full-time, and another nearly 20% said they would need $2,500 to $3,500 a month. So quite a variance in the responses there. So very quickly, before I dive into this topic, I just posted my new hip-hop course in the Production Music Academy. There's also a hip-hop bundle that's available as of today, which includes my lo-fi course, my orchestral hip-hop course, and my latest high-energy hip-hop course. If you want to learn how to write these tracks, please, by all means, go check out that link in the description below. You can get access to all of my course content under one roof, as well as community access and feedback and all that other good stuff. So go check that out at productionmusicacademy.com. So this video is sort of targeted at those of you who are interested in music production and licensing for the most part, but I think those of you who are interested in teaching as well will take something from this. And I should mention that I know that there's a lot of you watching out there who may have full or part-time jobs which aren't music related, that you're perfectly happy with, and you're just looking for ways to supplement your income on the side, and all the power to you. I think you guys will get something out of this too. So let's dive right into it. My number one tip that I want to share with you, and probably the most important one for me, is just to focus on quality over quantity. It goes without saying that, working quickly and effectively is super important. And, I try not to be precious with my music. I try not to, spend too long on any given piece of music that I'm working on. And in general, I tend to work quickly because it's just, this is what I do every day. I've been doing it for years. I've gotten pretty fast at it. But that being said, the goal for me is never to put out as many tracks into the world as possible. It's always to just put out the strongest material, even if that means spending a little bit of extra time on my tracks and it taking a little bit longer. It's always a focus on quality over quantity. And this approach is one that's actually really paid off for me big time. Those of you who have been following me for a while now know that, I'm not actually that prolific. I don't put that much music out there. But, for example, like just the 12 or 13 or so tracks that I uploaded to Artlist last year, by the time I got paid out for them, it was worth about, almost $20,000. And I think that speaks to the time and effort that I put into making those tracks as, as good as they possibly could be. And that's just one library. There's others that I'm working with as well. The point I'm trying to make, overall, is that I invest a lot of time in just learning and, improving my own skills as a producer. I also spend a lot of time listening to what's out there, paying attention to current trends that are out there on the marketplace as well. I'm I'm always making mental notes. This way I can write songs that, effectively perform very well on music libraries more often than not. If I can write, 1 or 2 tracks a month that perform really, really well and get a lot of downloads and a lot of sales, rather than, putting out a dozen or so a month that do so-so, then that approach, essentially frees up a ton of extra time for me to focus on other important things in my life. So yeah, for me, quality over quantity is essential. And if that means taking some, extra time to invest in yourself and your production skills, then I say go for it. It will 100% pay off in the long run. My number 2 tip, and this one is specifically regarding working with music libraries, whether they be stock royalty-free libraries or TV production sync libraries, is just write for the library, or to be specific, write for the clientele, the people that are coming to that library to download or to purchase that music. Remember that you're providing a service and you're writing for the content creators out there. Take the time to listen to the tracks that are already on the library and take some mental notes. Ask yourself, how will your music fit in that picture, and what genres and what styles are going to get you some traction. Also very, very important is to follow the production rules, or not so much rules, but guidelines. And if you want a recap of what I think are probably the most essential tips for producing like really effective sync music. I did a video on that a little while back. I'll link to it up above. I think people actually have a really tough time with this one because I think as musicians, we tend to have this like knee-jerk reaction to the idea of like writing music that's not so much like a deep expression of our creativity. It goes against some of the instincts that we have as like, creative thinkers. And, look, all I can say is that if you want to make money, you got to play the game to some extent. The way I see it is that I have a pretty healthy balance. Like I kind of have the best of both worlds going on at the moment. I certainly make sure to, keep busy with projects where the goal isn't to make money, primarily. And then, of course, I have lots of other projects, or I'm writing lots of other tracks where the goal is to make money, and those tracks pay the bills. They keep the wheels spinning. But I think it's really important to strike a balance between the two, because if you're just working on music licensing tracks, like, 100%, it's probably going to drive you crazy. Sometimes when I'm working on tracks that are specifically designed to thrive in the music library space, it might feel a little bit more creatively constrained. But like I said, they pay the bills. It can feel like work, but I certainly enjoy doing that work a whole lot more than working as a barista full time, which is basically what I did, as a 9-to-5 before I eventually quit and just dove into music production full time. My number 3 tip is kind of a more generalized one, and that's to make sure that your time management and organization skills are on point. This is surprisingly, one of the aspects of being self-employed that I struggled with the most, especially in the beginning. I still struggle with it a little bit, to be honest, but I've gotten a lot better over the years. There's a lot of time management tools and like productivity apps that are out there to help people with this kind of stuff. Everybody's brain works a little differently. I've tried some of these apps, like I've tried Asana before, which I think is pretty cool. Ultimately, I've kind of just settled on using Google Drive. Using Google Docs and Forms is just a really easy way for me to sort of keep all my to-do lists and important information in one place, and it's all on the cloud. I'm not going to lose it on a hard drive or something. It's all easily accessible. I think you got to, experiment and find what works for you. But beyond the organizational stuff, I think more importantly, I think time management is really the most important thing to consider, and probably the most effective time management hack for me has been just identifying the most productive hours of my day and like using them wisely. For me, it's all about my miracle mornings, and I'm stealing that term from Dave Kropp, who runs the 52Qs YouTube channel. Go check him out if you have a second. He's a great guy. Big shout out to Dave. I completely and totally resonate with his idea that his mornings are like this precious time for composing. For me, I actually don't I don't compose every single morning, to be honest, but it is a time of the day for precious creative energy to be spent. I try to leave like mindless tasks, admin stuff, maybe like some of the checking emails, that kind of thing. I try to leave it to the later part of the day when I've exhausted my creative energy. But I still have enough energy left to do, some of the things that I got to do to keep my business afloat. Not everybody is a morning person. Totally understand that. Some of you out there are night owls and you thrive at that time of day. I'm just saying, I think that it's, really important to sort of think about the space that you have in any given day and allocate certain tasks for specific time slots based on your body's natural flow of energy. For me, I just get, the most creative stuff done in the morning. So thanks so much for watching, guys. As always, comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I missed anything important here. Let me know what your most productive time of day is, or just drop in and say hello. It's always good to hear from you guys. In the meantime, take care. See you in the next video. Bye.